Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are back. It is me, screaming into the void of the internet. Um, Not too much of an update. Well, I guess it's kind of an update. I'm still here. We ain't hobo status yet. Funnily enough, the one of the people responsible for like all of this nonsense, like they nearly died. Like they're out of the hospital right now, but they have to like take it easy for who knows how long. So, I'm not saying that I want the person to die or something, but I just found it kind of odd that, 1 minute someone is causing like a bit of hassle to another person's life, and the next, they're gone. And it's kind of funny considering, everything that's gone over down yonder with the freaking CEO and that nonsense. But it's kind of interesting because I wanted to talk about something. I wanted to talk about like humanity first dogma, and I wanted to use two things that I actually am quite I'm quite fond of. That's the movie Avatar, specifically Avatar, like the blue people and the cat people, and Warhammer, right? Because both in those, it's kind of a more, at least there's a group of humans talking about humanity first. And for some reason, I've noticed this trend. Now with Warhammer, it's kind of a meme, like that sounds like heresy, stuff like that, right? But with Avatar, originally, like, people found themselves, like, on the Navi side, and then they swapped to the military guys' sides to say, like, humanity first. And I kind of laughed at that because I'm like, did people, like, completely misunderstand the point of the movie? Because saying that you support, like, humanity, at least in that sense, right? Because you're mainly talking, the people that were benefiting, again, were corporate entities. If you really believe that, should we really be even concerned? Shouldn't we feel bad for, like, the CEO guy that just got rolled? Because here's the thing, there's this thing going around where people are trying to say that, well, humans should just dominate and stuff like that, and I just laugh at that statement because if you really feel that way, and you feel that there should always be people that dominate, you shouldn't complain when you're getting effed in the arsehole, like, by CEOs and stuff like that, because, hey, in your own words, they're just dominating, right? And you will know, like I will know, that, no, there are plenty of people who are put in positions of power that they didn't earn, that they just inherited via, like, birth status or just knowing the right people, and then they F everyone else over, and saying that they should just be there just because is ridiculous. I do feel like you should have to earn your positions. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be people in those positions. I personally prefer self-governance, but most people feel the need to be governed by something other than themselves. It's really unfortunate, but, you really can't really stop people from feeling that way, right? But the point that I'm trying to get at is this. There is this humanity first dogma that's going around, and I just laugh at it because at the end of the day, it's, why is it that you feel the need to put this group of people that don't give a rat's arse about you first? Let's talk about things from a man's perspective right now. You guys know that society doesn't give a rat's arse about you, right? I am potentially, I don't know right now, but I'm not lying, like, I hope someone doesn't think that I'm doing this for, like, sympathy or I'm lying about stuff on the internet, because I'm not. Like, I still don't know. I'm shocked how long it's taken, but I am potentially, potentially, I don't know when, especially what just happened recently, but I could be looking at homelessness. If I was a woman, there would be exclusively female shelters that are open to me. There would be programs that I could get right now that would dang near guarantee that I had a job that I don't have access to. Now, this same bastard, who puts humanity first, would tell me I'm not owed anything. And I'd agree. I'm technically speaking not owed anything by society, by humanity, by anything. However, apparently, those same people that make up, humanity, that make up society, are owed my loyalty, blindly at that. As if I were presented another group that treated me with respect, that treated me better as a human being, than my own species. I shouldn't be loyal to them merely because we're not same. This right here is kind of the point that I'm trying to make at, right? For example, Jake Sully. Jake Sully was a handicapped person. He lived in a future where I'm going to just assume that they had faster than light travel, considering that, they're going from planets to planets right now, right? The only real reason why he was even brought in for the job is because his twin brother died, and so he was used as a surrogate for the avatar that was left behind, right? Now, think about this. These people, with all of this money, with the ability to, essentially synthesize a body, you don't think that they could have gave this man some legs? Even if it was just bionic legs, because they got mecha suits, right? Why didn't they give him bionic legs? Why didn't they synthesize him some legs that he could, maybe reattach? I'll tell you why. Because just like in the future, I'm sure, if there is a future for us, guess what? Money's going to talk. People don't give a rat's arse about each other. No matter how much you want to sit around here and just claim that I should just be inherently loyal to my species, despite my species treating me like dog manure, that's not how that works. All that really sounds like is just this blind desire to feel like you can one day rise yourself above the corporate ladder, and that's usually what they tell you. Because that's what they told my generation, Hey, you can do anything, you can be anything. Which is not true. Sure, you can all believe that maybe you'll all just, have six-figure jobs and stuff like that, but that's not how that works. If everyone was working a six-figure job, then that would just be the new middle class. These people don't want you to thrive. Society is not built on everyone thriving. Society is built on most people desiring to get to a point and them being gatekept from reaching that goal. That's how society has always worked. That is why there has always usually been the working class and the people who thrive off of those people working. Period. Whether it's slavery, or just maybe wage slavery. It's always operated like that. The people who work are the ones who basically guarantee that the people who benefit off of that labor get their cushy life. You enable that, whether or not you want to believe it or not. And the same is true in the universe of Warhammer. They demand absolute blind loyalty to the Emperor and stuff like that. And if you question it, it's heresy, which is dang near executionable, on the spot. But the point that I'm trying to get at is this. The two stories that those are trying to tell, well, maybe not Warhammer as much, considering that there's so much in that universe, but at least from the Empire's perspective, right, is that you're supposed to be absolutely 100% of the time loyal to your own. Now, perhaps in Warhammer, there is more truth to this, considering that there's a lot of alien species that just want to outright destroy and rip humanity to shreds, just because. But even then, that's arguable, considering that certain humans in that universe who desire to, deal with the Chaos Gods, depending on which ones, Nurgle, do actually look out for their followers. So, that is arguable. The point that I'm trying to get at is this, right? Loyalty, and blind loyalty at that, to humanity, is just as bad as any kind of fascism that you can think of. Because no one should just be 100% blindly loyal to a cause, merely because they try and hide behind that cause and say, well, this is your people and you're supposed to be loyal. Well, do these people treat me like I'm one of them? That's like someone treating you like garbage all of your life and you still choose to protect them. Listen, I'm not Naruto. I'm not Jesus. I'm not any kind of anime character. If you treat me like dog crap, in my eyes, you want to get treated like dog crap as well. I'm a firm believer of do unto others. I don't really think people realize how that's actually worded. If you want to treat me like dog crap, that must mean you want to get treated like dog crap. If I'm treating you well, that's because I want to get treated well. It goes both ways, cocksucker, But that's something that people don't really take into consideration. So when I look at movies like Avatar, I'm looking at the fact that, hey, listen, humanity didn't give this man a chance. He was thrown to the wayside. And even when presented with the opportunity to kind of earn this man's loyalty, considering that they were going to turn him into a double agent, did they? They didn't. I mean, the whole purpose that they were even there on that planet was for interior. Was it really something that was going to benefit all of humanity or a small group of humanity? Think about it. Who was really benefiting from that? Who was benefiting from it? Do you genuinely think that the entirety of the human race would have benefited from that unattainability? No. No. Your higher-ups, your CEOs, your politicians, all of the standard, operating procedures, those kinds of people. Those would have been the people that would have benefited had they succeeded. If they had to kill that entire planet to get what they wanted, they would have done it. That's the story of humanity across everything, If they got to just murder all of these inhabitants that were here before them so that they can get the land, they'll do it. And I'm sure that they'll be doing that long after I'm dead and you're dead. And if you do have children, God forbid, yes, I do mean that, they'll do that then as well. For some reason, these people think that merely because this is all that you have to be loyal to it. I laugh at that. All of this information around me, all of these ideas around me that I'm exposed to, and you think that just because I'm a human, that I have to be loyal to humanity, that same humanity would throw me on the wayside and let me freeze to death. Well, perhaps in one day and age, people would have, but not me. No. I'm bigger than that. Sorry, not sorry. I don't give a rat's arse about how this comes off to anyone. But listen, if someone's going to treat you like dog crap, you don't have to take that. You don't have to be on this freaking Stockholm Syndrome nonsense where you are just obsessed with trying to make these cocksuckers who hate you happy. If you're going to change something about yourself, or you're going to do something, do it because it's what you want to do. Don't give a rat's arse about these people that don't care about you. Because again, they would not piss in your mouth if your tongue was on fire. Why should you be so obsessed with making these people happy? Why should you remain loyal to them? Oh, how silly of me. Allow me to talk about this real quick. Have you ever noticed that when someone is being an objectively bad person, a complete cocksucker, they don't want you to give them the same justice that they would have done to you? And I'll tell you why. It's because if they keep you with this idea that you're better than them, that you can't succumb to what they succumb to, right? They get to constantly manipulate you. Well, you're a good person. You wouldn't do that, would you? Oh, no, partner. I didn't claim to be a good person. I absolutely would do it. You're out your mind. This is why I always laugh at stuff like when they're trying to say that, oh, the heroes can't do this, that, and the other, because, you're supposed to let them live. You're supposed to let them come to justice. And let them, just bribe their way out of law because that's what law cares about, money. How can people honestly look at these films and then look at something like with the CEO and then go, yeah, he got what's coming to him? Because listen, I've always assumed that maybe he made the wrong person mad, as a CEO. Because listen, for what people say about domination again, hey, he was a CEO. He was dominating, right? He was fulfilling his role of the so-called most important person in health. He worked in medicine. So technically speaking, shouldn't he have thought about human life first? Oh, that's right. He thought about Benjamin's first. He thought about what puts money in his pocket first. He didn't care about who he screwed over. How many people are like that? How many politicians have screwed over people? Drove them to suicide because they made changes that immediately destroyed thousands, millions of people's lives. Do you think they give a rat's arse? They don't care. They're not being affected. And yet again, these people demand your loyalty. You shouldn't do anything to them. You shouldn't harm them. And if you do want to do something, it should be through the court of law. That is totally 100% not swayed by money. Here's the thing, folks. Humanity, and perhaps it's not just humanity, but I'm going to use it as an example because it is our species. Humanity, whether you want to believe it or not, is inherently effed. We are corrupt, nasty, wicked son of a guns. You can choose not to believe that, but if you don't, trust me, you will get played. You'll get played hard. Even knowing the true nature of humanity, you still got to watch out because there are some cunning cocksuckers around here that would love to play you for as long as they can. And if they could play you after you were dead, they'd still do it. They'd still do it. You better believe that they still do with like certain historical figures that they brandish as evil and awful, when in actuality, maybe they just wanted, independence. Maybe they just didn't want to be a part of the so-called, Western Empire. They just wanted independence. And they'll brandish them as evil because, hey, they won. And whoever wins, that's what side tells the history, right? Is what it is. And we have to put the pieces together and try and make up what happened. But we'll never know because we weren't there. All I'm trying to get at with this point is this. This dogma of humanity first, of blind loyalty to your own species, I laugh at it. Because again, I'm willing to be bigger than that and say, well, hang on. Is my species loyal to me? Do they look out for me? Because listen, at a glance, you would say, well, obviously. But then you have to look at how you're being treated. You know, that's like saying you should be loyal to your family. You should love your family. Hold up. Is your family treating you well? Do they look out for you? Do they uplift you? Do they support your dreams? No? Well, why should you be loyal? You're supposed to be the bigger person, even though these people are objectively screwing you over. Again, I believe that they tell you that because they want to keep screwing you over. And if you become a cult bastard, and you become savvy to their ways and their deception and conceits, then guess what? They can't trick you. They can't manipulate you anymore. They don't like that. They don't like that. Not at all. But what I can say is this, right? I really hope that when you look at films like that, instead of trying to believe that like one side's right or one side's wrong, you're just getting more of an idea about the world, you know? Because I look at stuff like that, and like I said, you know, like I look at movies like Avatar, I look at TV shows like Avatar: The Last Airbender, you know, and I look at that for perspective. I don't just think that there's just one side that's right or wrong, you know. I look at that for perspective, you know. By no means should Jake just siding with like the Sully just be, not the Sully, but the Navi just be 100% the right choice. You know, could there have been a way that they could have got those resources fairly without ruining those people's lives? Perhaps, yes. Would that have happened? Absolutely not. History dictates that they wouldn't happen. For some reason, humanity feels as though they would rather bonk things over with a head than use their head to talk. Because it is harder. Being diplomatic is objectively harder. That's why people would rather just smash someone's head in. You know? It's just the truth. Instead of speaking in that microphone, they'd rather use it to bash someone's brains in. It's just the truth. People are more monkey than they would lead you to believe. It's just the truth, man. That's why I try and say, hey, listen, do the best that you can to like rise above it. Doesn't mean that you ever fully will, but you got to be conscious of it. That's why I'm always deep in introspection, and I look at movies and films that actually make me think differently. I don't just blindly say that there's just one side that's right. I just try and say, hey, give me perspective. You know, don't preach to me, just give me perspective. That's why I like that movie. That's why I like Warhammer. I like those perspectives. But I think I'll go ahead and end it there. Let me know your thoughts on stuff like that. If you did watch Avatar, and if you do like Warhammer, what are your thoughts on like humanity first dogma, you know? And I don't say dogma as like, oh, it's absolutely awful. I just mean it in, you know, it is dogma, definitively speaking, right? What are your thoughts on that? Like, do you follow it? Do you agree with that? If so, why? If not, why? Rate the video what you think it deserves. God bless. I'll see you next time.